Hey there, I'm Sean Collins. I'm the esports reporter with the Dallas Morning News covering OpTic Texas of the Call of Duty League, and I just wanted to give my updated power rankings after the first weekend of Stage 2. There are a couple changes, nothing crazy. I don't expect anything really, truly crazy to happen unless there's like a wild roster change. But, anyways, I still think OpTic Texas has that top spot, and although Atlanta FaZe did lose, I still think that they belong in that S tier. I don't think that their struggles are not comparable to the likes of teams towards the bottom of this list. So I still think that FaZe deserves to be in that top spot. I'm willing to drop them down to A if they have a few more losses that look in similar fashion. But I'm still pretty confident about the teams in the A tier as well. London, Toronto, and the Thieves. I did boost Toronto this time over Los Angeles just because I think Toronto's trending upward a little bit, and LA is trending a little bit downward. They played okay against OpTic, but OpTic was also playing some of its worst maps on purpose. The Ultra won some hard points over the weekend, which was a big deal because they placed fourth at the major without winning a single one. So I definitely think that the Ultra could continue to climb, and London still looks pretty good. In this B tier, a few changes. I still think that I'm okay with Boston being at the top of the B tier, but Seattle did look pretty good against FaZe. They've needed to have a good weekend, and they did. I actually thought that the Florida Mutineers are looking much improved. They're looking like a better team. I don't think that they're close to A tier, but they're decently in that B tier. In the C tier, I thought that the Rockers struggled a little bit against the Paris Legion, even with some roster changes. And that's not necessarily to say that Paris didn't play well, because Timp had a really good match, but I think that the Rockers should be beating these teams 3-1, maybe even 3-0, if they want to squeak up into that B tier or A tier. There's nothing necessarily wrong with being in the C tier. I think they're still a competitive team, but I'm gonna need to see a little bit more. Same thing with the Gorillas. That's they were here last week, and so I feel that that's probably where they belong still. In that D tier, I do think there's actually some separation here between the Legion and the Subliners. The Legion looked a little bit better. They almost beat the Rocker, so that's a sign of improvement, but through some roster changes, I think that we're probably going to have to see just a little bit more if they want to get up to that C tier. I think it's possible, but for now, I still have them in that D tier. And for the Subliners, they're looking like the worst team in the league by a decent margin, and it's still shocking. They have all the tools to be, I think, a top 5 team. There's no reason why they couldn't be. It's just that things are not working out for them, and they keep on making roster moves and bringing Neptune down, bringing him back up, so on and so forth. So I think that the Subliners need to figure something out, and they need some sort of consistency. It's almost a little bit hard to watch, but either way, those are my power rankings. Appreciate you watching. Feel free to like and subscribe.